Manchester United back in the Europa League. This time we are taking on Granada. After knocking out Real Sociedad and AC Milan, Manchester United on paper get an easier tie than the previous two games. But that doesn't mean Manchester United are going to get through this tie. These are worse position in the league than Real Sociedad, who we beat in the last 32 of this competition to get through. And they're a worse team than AC Milan, so Manchester should be going to this as favourites. They lost 3-0 at home at the weekend and they've got the worst defence in the La Liga. So Manchester United should be going into this overwhelming favourites to qualify for the next round. And whereas this is going to be a bit of a tricky tie, I still believe, for Manchester United, and the first leg I think will be massive for Manchester United. If we can get the job done in this leg, then we could rest and rotate a little again like we did against Real Sociedad, but it's not going to be easy and we might not get that opportunity again. We didn't in the last game against AC Milan. We really fucked it up in the home game and were lucky to get away and a bit fortunate to get through in the end, because AC Milan were not the AC Milan of old and were not that good in the grand scheme of things, and Manchester United I thought were a bit fortunate to maybe make it through to the last 16 of this competition. So I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But these have obviously leaking goals in, so for Manchester United we've really got to go at this and put some goals in this game. I do believe, I think that the opportunity is there for the likes of Mason Greenwood, Dan James and Edison Cavani to fill their boots if they are the preferred attacking options. We've got injury problems to deal with going into this game, so there might not be too much rotation from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but we will have to wait and see. But I would expect a couple of changes to happen to this starting lineup. I would expect David De Gea to come back in to play for Manchester United. I would gather that he's going to probably now be partly the cup goalkeeper, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens if Manchester United get to the semi-final or the final of this competition. Who would go in goal there for this competition? Because when we played in the final a few years ago under Jose Mourinho, he stuck with Romero in goal in that massive game. This wouldn't be, if Manchester United got to the final this time around, as big a game as that, because we're already going to qualify for the Champions League. That is fucking done and dusted pretty much. So there's not a lot of pressure on us to go and actually win the competition, but I fucking do want us to win a trophy this season, because otherwise it's going to be a pretty poor season to finish on for Manchester United. So De Gea will be in goal for this one, I reckon, anyway. Back four, I think it's going to stay the same. I think I can't really see him switching up too much. He doesn't really seem to fancy Telles too much in place of Luke Shaw. So I think it'll be Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka again. Bay's out with coronavirus, so and he doesn't really seem to fancy Tuanzebe there either. So I've got a feeling that Tuanzebe's days at Manchester United could well be numbered. If we bring in another centre half in the summer, I think he probably will switch it up a bit in midfield. I'm not too sure if he's going to keep Fred, and probably will keep Fred and McTominay in midfield and probably pull out Paul Pogba for this one. That's what I reckon he'd do. I'd sooner see I'd sooner see Pogba and McTominay in there, but it's probably going to be McTominay and Fred in there. I reckon he might choose to bring out Bruno Fernandes, but I think that would be a bit of a gamble. Even though he hasn't been at his best lately, he still made the first goal in that win against Brighton at the weekend. I reckon he might choose to bring Donny van der Beek into that position. Then obviously Manchester United got problems going forward. Rashford does look like he's out of this game. He didn't train, as this video goes out on Tuesday night, he didn't train as Tuesday. We will have to wait and see in the Wednesday press conference from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to determine what the problem is. If he's fit enough to play, he may have just given him a couple of days rest to recuperate and to go again, and maybe if we're feeling a lot better tomorrow, we'll have to wait and see. But if he is injured, it's going to be a bit of a gamble if Solskjaer does choose to risk him for this game if he's just carrying a slight knock, because we've got a lot of games still to play this season, and to be honest, we could probably still get through this tie even without Marcus Rashford. It isn't going to be easy, but if he misses this game and we do fuck this game up, we've still got the reverse fixture to play at Old Trafford, so he may hopefully be back for that second leg if we do fuck this up. But if we were to win this comfortably without Marcus Rashford, he could get 2 games potentially off. from this Europa League round, and then go again for the next round, which would be absolutely the dog's bollocks for Manchester United if that was the case. So I reckon he's going to go with Edinson Cavani as the striker. Was poor against Brighton at the weekend, but I can't see him not going with him. As soon as he took him off, Greenwood pretty much scored when he went to number 9 position. But I can't see him going for Greenwood as number 9, because if he goes for Greenwood as number 9, that means that he's going to drop Cavani, and if he drops Cavani, then what's he going to play? Ahmad on one side and James on the other? I don't think he will do that. I mean, he did bring Ahmad on against AC Milan, and he got that great header, but since then he hasn't played for Manchester United. I think he's come off the bench, is he? I can't remember, but he hasn't played nowhere near enough minutes for Manchester United since then. And I think he does need game time, but he's just not going to start him. James probably does need some game time as well. Has been decent of late. Obviously isn't the talent of Rashford and Greenwood. We know that he hasn't got that tap, but still has been playing decent. His pace in behind could be good for this game for Manchester United. But I think that will be the front. Cavani up front, Greenwood on the right, and James on the left. And we just go for this game. Now, obviously the options on the substitutes bench aren't going to be great, because Manchester United could be without Marcus Rashford, so it could be left to Ahmad on the substitutes bench, Shoretiri, and then we're hearing that Anthony Elanga has been brought into first team training today. Rapid, ever so rapid, fast, has scored goals this season for the under-23s, and his pace could cause problems if Manchester United need to utilise him in this game at all. You get 5 substitutions in these Europa League games, so that gives Manchester United a good opportunity to maybe see Anthony Elanga in action in this game, or in the reverse fixture if he is put in the squad. Now, he's been obviously put into the training session, but that doesn't mean to say that Manchester United are going to actually play him. He has just come back from injury, so I'm not too sure what the case is, but if Rashford's out, someone needs to come into this team, because Ahmad and Shoretiri are not strikers. And if Cavani gets injured, then Manchester United would be down to only Mason Greenwood being that actual striker out there. And we do have other striking options. Charlie McNeil could play there. Joe Hugel could play there, but they're both 17 fucking years of age. I mean, Anthony Elanga is nearly 19 years of age, so a lot older really than them players. Physically, is probably further ahead in his development than them. He's played more games at under 23 level than the likes of Joe Hugel, so I think it is probably fair that he probably is the one to come in. I know earlier in the season Joe Hugel was smashing the goals in left, right and centre at one point, but they have dried up a little bit of late. But that is expected with a young talent like Joe Hugel, so I wouldn't expect them to come in yet. I didn't see Hannibal Mejbri in and around the first team training today, so that indicates to me that he probably will feature for the under-23s and probably won't be involved in the first team. But that is more the fact that Marcus Rashford is out, and whereas he is an attacking player, he's more of an attacker in the sense of could play in a Bruno Fernandes role, maybe a little bit deeper. And I wouldn't associate him with replacing Marcus Rashford in the squad anyway. And Elanga's probably the next best fit to replace him in the squad. So it'd be great to see if he gets a chance. Now, I don't know too much about Granada, as I say. Soldado used to play in the Premier League at Tottenham and was fucking shit in the Premier League. He leads the line. Well, he did lead the line for them at the weekend. Not too sure how many goals he's got for them this season, but he was fucking bollocks when he played in the Premier League. So it does remain to be seen if he's any better than he was in the Premier League. Fucking he'll probably come back and haunt Manchester United. Now to me saying that, but to be honest, he is pretty shit. So is their most notable player that I know of, be leading the line for them, so I'm not too concerned about him. But as I say, they do leak a lot of goals in, so Manchester United have got to go out there and try and just attack these fuckers and put some goals away. If we concede one, then fine, but we've got to go out there and try and fucking score 3-4 goals and try and fucking put this game to bed in the first game, because of the amount of players that have needed a rest, and we haven't been able to give them that rest this season that they probably need. And it would be great to be able to rotate a little bit and maybe give a few younger players the opportunity in the reverse fixture, because we've still got a couple of key injuries if Rashford and Martial are out for any length of time, which it does look like Martial is out for an extended period of time. So some other players are going to have to step up, because we're not really convinced on on the fitness of Edison Cavani at the moment. He looked ropey at the weekend, didn't look at his best at all, and I'm not too sure what the crack is with his fitness at the moment. He hasn't played a lot of football fucking for a long time, so he could do with playing a bit part role at this moment in time, but we can't really afford to do that for Manchester United. He would be better being brought off the substitutes bench to bed him back in, because every single time he seems to fucking get injured. So, and the same with Rashford. I think really Rashford needs to be brought off the substitutes bench a few times in the next few weeks, but we can't really afford to do that because of the likes of Martial injured as well. So Rashford's constantly playing when he's injured. See, Man City don't have that problem. If one of their fuckers is injured, like Sterling or fucking Gundogan or someone, they just leave him out the team completely. They don't even leave him with Knox on the substitutes bench. But we don't have that adequate player to come in and replace a Rashford or a Cavani. Like Man City have that massive strength in depth. We're bringing in the likes of Alanga, Shoretiri, Ahmad, who aren't at the level yet to be featuring for the first team, but some valid, good experience could come of this if they are given the opportunity. Anyway, I'm confident that Manchester United can go there and put a couple past this opposition. I think they're like 9th in the Spanish league, so I'm going to go for Manchester United winning this game 2 goals to nil. Sorry. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're watching this on Facebook, please do hit the share button, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.